What's better to teach as an outdoor instructor? Rules or principles? Watch the rest of this video to find out. Hi, my name's Nat and welcome to Instructor 101 for outdoor instructors that want to make an even bigger impact on those that they work with. So I've been having a lot of discussions lately with other outdoor instructors and it's been really good. The reason for those discussions was because of a video that I made recently about how to belay. And yeah, it got a lot of reactions. A lot of it was really positive. Some of it wasn't as positive, but you know what, that's absolutely fine. What came out of it was how to teach people, and I got me thinking about why certain people react in certain ways. And I think that particular belay method, which I taught, and obviously there's loads of other belay methods out there, whether something is right or wrong depends on context, experience, and knowledge. I think one of the big things being context in the situation. Where that comes from though, I think, is from rules and principles, depending on what people were taught initially. And that has created this video. Naturally, I started trying to work out what's better, rules or principles. Now, obviously there's advantages and disadvantages to both. Obviously with rules, if you're going to teach people using rules, then they tend to be black and white. They tend to be like, yes, no, you must always do this, never do that. And they're normally quite quick and easy to understand. However, with principles, yes, they take a lot longer to communicate and understand on the participant side of things, but it can create greater understanding and can be applied in various different contexts. So it's not just a case of always do this apart from when this happens. It gives a greater understanding, and then people can try and work out and hopefully become more independent about making their own decisions depending on the context and situation. So if you look at an example which I know I've certainly said, and I hear lots of other outdoor instructors have said this as well, which is, you know, when you're teaching a novice climber, you tell them always keep 3 points of contact when climbing. You talk about either have 2 hands and 1 foot on the wall, or 2 feet and 1 hand on the wall, so whilst you're climbing up. Now, that's quite an easy, simple rule to understand, and then the climber as well can go, yeah, all right, that makes sense, cool. But the principle behind that is actually think about your balance, your stability, your movement. It helps to create confidence as well if someone is quite nervous. So those are all things that you're really trying to communicate. Because if we try to apply that rule of always have 3 points of contact at all times throughout the entirety of someone's climbing career, so if you look at the World Cup boulderers, then you look at them and their routes and they're jumping for things. They're like, a lot of the newer routes now are becoming almost like parkour style challenges as well. Which are really dynamic movements or leaping. And you know what? There's points where they've got no point of contact whatsoever, before trying to hopefully grab hold of something. Now, if they followed that rule of always have 3 points of contact, then they just wouldn't be able to do that problem. So it's about trying to help people to understand the principles of something. So what's better? So obviously we can see rules had their advantages, they're quick and easy. Principles can have a lot more context but take longer to communicate. Well, it depends on the situation. So again, another principle for us. It depends on the situation, and it comes down to what are you trying to achieve and what's the best way to achieve that. So it's going to vary. If we're giving someone an intro session, we're probably going to want them to make the most of their time, and we're probably trying to encourage them to get into some sort of sport or activity and hopefully do things again in the future. So we might give a few rules, but that's about it, just so they can get more out of their time and quickly get into something and try something out. That might not always be the case, obviously. But if we're coaching someone, we might be thinking more about using principles and working out what works out best overall, or the principles that they need to follow. So it comes down to what are you trying to achieve and what's the best way to do that. Now, obviously, There's lots of situations that you can apply that in. So whether that's even within our industry, but just for the sake of argument, whether it's paddling, climbing, caving, navigation stuff, target sports, there's lots of different methods and approaches that we can use to achieve anything. But you might need to adapt that depending on where someone is in their experience of doing that, and even their own style and their own preferences. So yeah, there's lots to this. Okay then, so let's take a few other examples, but I do feel like I'm going to open a can of worms with this one. So what rules can you think of which you might have said, or maybe you've heard other outdoor instructors say, but might not necessarily always apply? So actually it could be more of a principle thing, but sometimes we just give rules instead. So some of those things that I can think of would be things like you must always tie in with a figure of 8. Never have metal on metal when climbing. You must always wear a helmet to keep you safe. I feel like I've opened a can of worms here, but maybe have a think. Are there other ones? I know a lot of those are probably like climbing related, but I'm sure there's lots of others within paddling and other things as well. So yeah, let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then you might be interested in one of my other ones, which is about the 3 golden rules for outdoor instructors, which I'm probably going to have to rename now after this video to the 3 principles of outdoor instructing. No, you're going to have to think about it. But yeah, make sure to check that out. If this video is useful, then please remember to like it, share it with other outdoor instructors. Huge bonus if you can subscribe or leave a comment. It all helps with the whole YouTube-y, algorithm-y thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, other than that, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, take care.